Hello everybody, Josh here, back with another video today, once more in P3D obviously. And we're checking out something new today, so yeah, it should be fun. This is the brand new Shorts 360 or SD360, I think is its proper name. Just released by Carenado this morning, I think it was this morning. It was this morning that I got wind of it being released. So picked it up straight away because I found out about this aircraft. In fact, it was just at the start of it was like toward the end of last week. I was going through some YouTube videos and I found out some stuff about these Shorts airplanes, and I thought, oh yeah, wouldn't it be cool to have one just to sort of try out? Then I found out Carenado was making one, so I've been sort of following it the last couple of days whilst it's sort of been on its final stages of development when FS Elite brought out some previews of it. And then today, it actually got released, so picked it up straight away. And I have to say, for once, it is actually, in my opinion, quite a reasonable purchase from Carenado. So, this video today is a sort of a first look video. It's a review video, if you like. Review, first look, that kind of thing. It's by no means a tutorial video, by no means a how to fly video, because I still don't actually know how this thing works myself. So, without further ado, I'm going to get straight into it in, I suppose, a review format. I'm thinking of this straight off the top of my head. I've got literally zero plans on how to do this. So I'm literally just going to do this based on what happens, really. So I think really the best way to start this is from the outside, considering we are on the outside. So, chase plane, here we go. My chase plane moves a bit fast. This is a little bit rip. So, you know, as always from Carenado, looks and aesthetics are their thing. You can always bet that if something's released by Carenado, then at the very least it is going to look good. And here is actually no exception to that at all. You can see here. I mean, the textures are not 4K. In fact, I don't know what they are. Like like fucking 500 pixels by the looks of things on some of this text, but that could be my settings as well. I'm not 100% sure, although I am on, as far as I know, I should be on the max texture setting, so that is a bit of a disappointment, but you know, it is what it is. Very, very beautiful texturing here on the rivets, and you can see all the rivets here, and you can see as you go through into the cockpit there, it's been really quite nicely modelled there, which is always an added bonus. I guess we'll come straight across to the windows and then over to the engines and whatnot. So again, windows here and doors. Doors, I'm not horrifically impressed at some of this sort of texturing, but the actual like windows themselves, I mean, and this interior is really nice. I mean, look at this. I've actually modelled the interior, which is again nothing unusual for Carenado, but it's a nice touch, you know. And I think you can do some pretty cool things with it, if I remember rightly, but maybe we'll look into that in a minute. Let's come up over to the engine. So that's what, 1, 2, 3. So this is a five-bladed prop. I couldn't remember if it was 4 or 5. So this is a five-bladed prop. Again, what you'd pretty much expect from Carenado. Some nice detail in there. Or I have to say that these textures, some of these are fairly low resolution. Which is always a little bit of a disappointment, but yeah, no, what can you do? I mean, you've got some nice detailing here with the strobe lights, and obviously along here got the flap edges. Again, it's really quite nice. So yeah, then down onto the wheels. Finally, you can't really see them all that much, which is a feature of Shorts as opposed to the actual. As opposed to Carenado itself is what I'm trying to look for, is that phrase. But you know, you got some nice detailing here along the tyres here, and some of the wiring and lines and whatnot. So it's nice. It is nice, and for some reason I can't get chase plane. There we go. Chase plane like stuck to the floor. That was weird. Around here, the other side, again, tail is looking very nice as always from Carenado. Whee! There we are. And then down. Finally onto the other side here where all the doors happen. You got a few doors. You've got the cargo door here. Then you've got the main passenger door at the back here. You've got an emergency exit door, and then you've got like another front storage thing here in the nose. So that is my sort of external walk around as it happens. I mean, shadowing is very nice, as you can see. If we just come back around the other side, you've got the prop there. That I have to say does look very nice. In terms of the sound, I'm not overly impressed with it. I'm a little bit split difference on the sound. Some of them I'm really impressed with, like the engines, which, you know, I mean, this is Carenado in a nutshell. You know, the engine sounds, I have to say, are really nice. Everything else, not so much. And I do hint a little bit of sounds from the Cessna 172 by A2A. I can definitely hear some of that in there. For example, let's come up to here, and you can see here the cargo door. So opening and closing is exactly the same sounds, bar a tiny little bit at the start. And that sound is the same for all of the doors. All three doors make that same sound. And then that bang at the end sounds like the flap sound when you wiggle the, like when you like check the flaps, when you like move the flaps around, and they make that banging sound when they're locked in position on when you're doing your walk rounds on the 172. So whether they have used the sounds from there, I'm not 100% sure, but I'd say it's a very good possibility, judging by just the similarity of it, really. A few neat features. Obviously, you've got the standard menus here, where you've got the things like tow car and static elements, which I don't really understand. I mean, you'd think they'd have like a proper GPU setup and whatnot, but it's just all of just kind of one, and I'm not 100% sure if that GPU actually does anything. So there is that. VC windows, I have absolutely no idea what that actively does. I've clicked around a little bit, but as far as I can see, it doesn't actually do much at all. And then obviously the rest are just doors. Then you've got your like cold and dark control panel here, which is a little bit different. In that you can see right now, if I don't get rid of it, that you usually just click on it, and so certainly with some older A2A stuff, A2A Carenado stuff, you've just clicked on it, and then that's been it. However, with this, you actually have to press it, and then another little box up that says done. You then click on that box, and then it actually resets the panel state. So yeah, and obviously the rest is just got some information and some quick links into like the GPS and what not. So that is it for the external walk around, I suppose. So I guess we'll jump into the interior or inside, and we'll have a look at the over at the flight deck. Alright, so here we are within the flight deck, which is obviously the operations of the aircraft. Nice detailing there, as you can see the door open there. I have to say, texturing on the inside certainly makes up for the texturing on the outside of the aircraft. It is absolutely amazing, and I have to say, when I loaded this aircraft in for the first time, I've never exactly been impressed with Carenado's interior texturing, but I have to say, this is absolutely fantastic. Just the sheer detailing is just absolutely beautiful. So, let's come across here. Let's get rid of the yoke for a second. So we'll start on the left, I suppose. So the S360's like controls and where everything's laid out is a little bit odd. It took a little bit of getting used to, but whatever. So obviously you've got the circuit breakers over here. Lovely detailing on the pilots on the seats there. You got some of these oxygen regulator things kicking about. As far as I know, this aircraft is not pressurised, so we can't go above 10k, as far as I know. Down here, you've got the hydraulic services, and you've also got the audio services. You've got some ADF stuff here as well, panel lighting and whatnot. Then it's pretty much straight onto the main controls over here. So you've got clock, your altitude set, all your airspeed and avionics down here on the lower bit there. And then you've got all your ITTs, fuel flows, gens, torque, prop RPM, which has got a little digital gauge in those as well, and all of that stuff there. Same on the first officer side. You've got this sort of thing here where it's got heading and nav and approach, and all of that is all to do with your autopilot and what's going on with that. And over here you've got some more audio stuff. And you've got the packs and doors over here as well. And then down here you've got a nice little feature, which I almost forgot to show. You got this thing here, and you can set your the day and stuff. So like it's 21:08. So August for flight leg number 1 and flight number. Well, I don't really have one, although we are actually going to do a flight in this thing. So I suppose what you really could do is 73, which is the passenger sort of flight number. So, yeah, I suppose. Or actually, I suppose because we're 54 Charlie Alpha, so I suppose you could just do 54. I'll come back onto that in a minute. So, let's. I suppose in theory we can just boot this aircraft up, which I'm not 100% on doing, but I'm just going to do it on how I've sort of managed to figure it out thus far. So, we come to the overhead panel here, which is a bit weird. It's actually very daunting when you first look at it, but it's not that hard to figure out. Actually, it's fairly simplistic. So, left and right batteries powers everything in, and we can put these on. Basically, everything that's yellow essentially needs to be green, from what I figured out. So, internal ground services, the gens need to be on. The shedding buses need to be on, whatever the hell they do. Ground services, well, we're not actually on, so that's absolutely fine. Packs can stay on the norm. And then that's pretty much that sort of electrical side of things. And as you can see now, we're all powered up, everything's on and what not. So, I think we'll just power things up at this point in time. So, let's fire up an engine. You've got the prop condition levers in idle. Let's put the fuel up to that sort of detent-ish thing there, which is kind of what I can figure out is where it should sit on the ground. Booster pumps can come on, and then we can set the ignitions to normal, starter to there, packs off, and then I believe you can just start it up. As you can see, we've got some really nice sounds there. I have to say, the engine sounds are absolutely amazing. Again, animation, as you saw there, not so much. It kind of goes from sitting completely idle to all of a sudden, like, full burst into life, which is a bit weird. I'm not really sure what that is all about. So, starter can come off now, and we can whack the other one on. So that can come on there. Fuel can come all the way in now. Otherwise the engines sort of tend to die. So yeah, although that one seems to be going a bit slow, I'm not really sure why. But yeah, so that's now the engine's fired up. I suppose what we should have done it really is actually close the doors first, so let's do that now. That can close off there. So hydraulics can come on. So can the nozzle steering, because we'll need that straight away. And you see the doors are all shut, so that is all good. The main fan can come on. The Gasper fans can come on, recirc fans can come on, That should be fine because we're not taking it from the ground. And that can all stay as it is. So, in terms of the audio, I haven't quite figured this out yet, but I think we can whack nav 1 on, and then com 1, and then standby audio to normal. I think. Whether that works or not, I have absolutely no idea whatsoever. So, we can whack the transponder on to 2000. I have absolutely no idea how we're doing that though. Like that, I guess. There we are. And then 122.8 is what we will be on Unicom because there is no ATC. So, flight plan. I have absolutely no idea how this is going to work. Again, texturing on here is not the best in the world. So, we can... How do we, like, select waypoints? So... And I think one of the engines is dying. I don't really know what it's doing. Let's put the condition levers up to max. As I said, I'm really not 100% sure on this works. The documentation with Carenado is sketchy to say the best about it, to be honest. So I really don't know what this is actually doing. It's like typing everything apart from what I want it to. So I want to do echo. There we go. Echo Golf. I don't like how everything's reversed. That's a bit weird. EGP, which is down there, and I forgot to turn my phone on silent, so good memes. EGP B, which is Sumburgh. Brilliant. So that can go there. Then oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, actually, I think we're doing this all wrong, to be perfectly honest. Let's do Aberdeen. Again, not what I wanted to do. Okay, we back. So, as it turns out, I have no idea how this thing works. So, I've just put in direct to Aberdeen, which is where we're going, and then we'll basically just follow that line. Is this like the best I can do? So we'll just put that to standby actually, and then 1228 in there as well. It's I mean, Carenado have done exactly what my grudge is with it. Have done what they always done, which grudges me a lot. And let's just put the pitot statics on and the packs back to normal as well while we're here. And that is that their documentation is just horrific. Like they just basically tell you refer to standard documentation that comes with Flight Sim. Like, yeah, great help. Anyway, after that rigmarole, we're gonna go to 5,000 feet. We're gonna fly. I mean, what's the wind at the moment? It is 0-0. So we'll just go for a westerly runway then, which in this case works out really to be a runway. I mean, 27 is the best, but that's right at the other end of the airfield. Whereas runway 33 is right next to us. So we'll go for runway 33, I think. It makes the most sense to do that. So runway 33 and 330 we'll put in a heading. And then that should be okay. We'll go for GPS. In theory. Will it let me? There we go, GPS. So I'll put that in there. 150, we'll just check that works out, which it does. Airspeed, well, we'll indicate for 180 at cruise. 140-ish is the takeoff speed for this thing, apparently. Let's make sure this is all level, which it is. And the QNH is 1019, so we'll set that in there as well. Easy. So, with that being said, let's finally get this aircraft going. So, parking brake off. Easy. Now, this aircraft is rapid. There's no other way for it. It really goes fast, this thing. So, landing lights, taxi lights, whatever, they can all come on. That should be there. That can go like that. And then runway 33 is down at the end there. So we'll go down there. This is Orbeck Sumburgh, by the way, which is where we are. I actually haven't said any information on this flight at all. So, on this test flight video, we are going from here at Sumburgh in the Orkney, in the Shetland Islands. And we're just going to take a short flight down to Aberdeen. So we're back in Scotland, same as we were last video. I know I went to Aberdeen in my last video as well. I wasn't actually planning on doing this video. I was planning on doing something else, and then this aircraft came out, and then I wanted to do a video on this aircraft. And seeming as though the only UK operator that actually operated them was Logan Air, that is what we are doing. Now, some background info. Logan Air is like a charter, like a franchise airline. So all the way up until 2008, BA Shuttle, or BA City Flyer as it was, or still is really, used to sort of, Logan Air used to operate their flights with like the BA colours and whatnot, and they had these until in 2008 when BA basically went nah. Flybe became their like franchisee and got rid of all of these, and they all became sort of Saabs. And then Logan Air actually took over their Scotland flights as their own brand. So we're sort of flashing back to 2008, but using a Logan Air call sign, which is Logan Air 54 Charlie Alpha, but whatever. Anyway, everything's all set to go, so we can basically just ramp in the power now. So about 85-ish knots, which is about there. It's pretty slow to rotate this thing. Doesn't seem to want to rotate at all. There we go. Beautiful. Positive rate, gear up. And off we go. That was the completely wrong button. So, we need to make a left turn out of here. Just watching that. Trim it out a little bit. nav, I think, out sell to 5,000. No, hang on, that's not right. How do I... 5,000, and I believe you go autopilot on, the yaw damper on as well. And in theory, it should fly itself. You'd hope. And then if we whack IAS on, in theory, it'll give us something. One would hope. So as you can hear, the sounds are relatively recycled as well, in that it's pretty much 2 switches do all. Is there like the easiest way I can put it? Is 2 switches does all. And this is an old autopilot as well. Now look at this. That is pretty cool. However, I will now cut the video up until a point where we are toward the landing phase. So, yeah, with 1,000 to go, let's see if we can actually make it to Aberdeen. Alright then, everybody. So, we have somehow made it to, well, somehow made it down to Aberdeen. We are just about to start descending, if I can figure out how. Perhaps. I don't really know how this works. I'm going to be totally honest here, I really have no idea how this AP works. I'd assume that's down, but it's not. So if we do IAS and then pull the power back, and sort of outsell 2,000, IAS mode, and then if we just like pull the power right back to fly idle with any luck, will... Yes? Hey, there we go. And if we just do it at like... Okay, no, we're locked in at 190, that's fine. It's absolutely fine. So, we are descending now to 2,500 feet. It's the ILS runway 16. Now, supposedly, this thing can actually do an ILS approach. I've put it in, and we're flying it now. I've literally just armed it just prior to us, prior to me rolling the recording. You can see here runway 16, and we're heading for the centre fix, where we need to be at 2,500 feet according to the charts. Now, I have no idea where you set things like minima, so we'll just keep an eye on it. So 405 feet is minima, 160 degrees is the final approach course. So I suppose we can put that in. 160, which is there, me guess. That is final approach. Can we change heading without screwing us? Yes, we can. So we'll also put that to 160. That can get there. And I also managed to get rid of the yoke somehow. So that can go there. Can we, like, descend a bit quicker? Because this is painfully slow. What does that do? I have no idea. 1019 continues to be the QNH for... yes, it's actually just below flight idle, but whatever. That'll be fine. Oh yeah, so 1019 continues to be the QNH, so exactly the same as when we left. When we left Aberdeen. So I'm trying to concentrate on actually getting this aircraft down because it's really not doing as well as I'd hoped. So that's 1,000 to level. As I said, the approach starts at 2,500 feet. So my plan here is that if we can get down to 2k now, we can essentially just fly that and then intercept the localizer. Considering we are circa 19 minutes out, apparently. We're 50 miles away, so yeah, we're a little bit low, but when you're in an aircraft you're not familiar with, and the visibility is shocking, like what it is at the moment, you really want to be in a position where you can just fly it. So 2,000 feet is what we're at now. I think this is about as low as we'll go for the min. I'll probably end up skipping forward some of this, to be perfectly honest. Okay, everybody. So, we are down at 2,000 feet. We're at 190 or 190-ish knots. Cloud cover still apparently appears to be a thing. It's genuinely quite bad today, the weather, in terms of cloud, but no, you'll get by it. We're 5.5 miles off of our localizer track, and as you can hear, we have now made the interception. We'll just check to see if that is correct. It plays again. Yep, that is correct. That's the ILS frequency. Let's see if I can turn that off actually, because that might get slightly annoying. Turn the nav radios off. So if I whack approach on, actually no, let's not do that for a minute. Leave it on nav, because we haven't quite intercepted the localizer yet. Just being sure to keep an eye on it, make sure we don't end up shooting past it or anything, which I don't think we will, because thus far the navigation system appears to have done quite a decent job. I mean, you can see that here, look, 24.8, doing 167 knots apparently, which give us 9 minutes. Which is a bit different from what I'm being told from two separate sources. That's a bit interesting. Because that's telling me we're doing 192, 93-ish. And then Project Fly says we're doing 181, although that is ground speed, so of course that is different. So just keeping on this track now, we're just 2 miles, or 2.5 miles from that intercept. This message thing is annoying me. Got the weather radar pinging back there as well. Quite a nice weather radar this actually, that's been done quite well. I'm nervous and I'm constantly glued to this because I'm nervous because this is the first real landing I've done, because the other one, I've actually only flown this one other time. That was earlier on this afternoon, but I was training on it. Did some visual circuits over at Sumburgh. But it is turning us, it would seem, ever so slightly, or at least it is putting us towards it. There's a mile to go. We're pretty much on the on the LNAV track. Well, we are on the LNAV track. It's just a case of keeping an eye on it, and if it all goes bad, then we'll just we'll just whack it over to heading, and we'll just manually change the heading. Although I believe, yeah, it is now turning us in. Fantastic. So 160 is what we're looking for. We're the only arrival into Aberdeen at the moment, I've checked. So there's no other traffic to look out for, which is always nice. When that happens, when you're trying to concentrate on 906,000 other things. So we're just coming through 170 degrees there, still in the turn. Seatbelts have been on all this flight just because we've had quite a lot of turbulence on the way, and I couldn't be bothered to climb this any higher. So I'm going to switch approach mode on now, and you'll see the GS tape, red tape on the GS disappears, which is nice. So 165 is what we're at now. That's still going to turn in a little bit more, so this is good. I should probably turn my volume up a bit, actually, shouldn't I? It usually helps. So we're IMC, but the great thing is this thing can actually do an ILS. Whether it can auto land is yet to be seen, but I see on the bang on where we need to be, actually. So I'm rather impressed at that, actually. And hopefully sooner or later we catch the glide. I don't know whether it'll descend us on its own or not. But this is fine. I mean, 2,500 feet. So 2,300 feet at 7 miles. And we're 16 miles and at 2,000. So we've got miles of room should this go a bit wrong. See the 343 outbound radial there. 12 miles to run. Can't get over this cloud, it's so bad. We're not visual with it yet. But rather shortly we should start to see something that resembles a glide path. Let's have a look. Yeah. So we need to be 25, according to the chart, we need to be 2,500 feet, 6 DME a beam from the runway, which is exactly where the Edinburgh, where the Aberdeen VOR is. So over the Aberdeen VOR will be 6.3 DME a beam from the actual runway. That's what the chart says. You can see there where the glide starts and the final approach fix. So I think the plan is we'll keep the speed up, and I think our landing speed is needs to be sort of roughly about 110, 120 knots. A lot of maths is involved in flying this aircraft, and I really couldn't be bothered. I really just wanted to make this video and get it out and just show people what it's about. So yeah. So then after 2,500 feet we need to be 1,530 feet at 4 DME from the runway. So in theory, any second now we should start to see some kind of a glide happen. Do I need to switch that to ILS, I wonder? I'm really not sure at this point in time what's going on. So, I mean, we are well above where we should be, so I'm going to disconnect the autopilot now and fly in manually. Which is really not something you should... I mean, actually, there's the airfield there. Wow, something has gone unbelievably wrong here, hasn't it? Okay, so we'll take the go-around procedure, which is climbing straight to 3,000 and then as directed. So what we'll do is we'll make an immediate turn here. I want to try and keep low and below this cloud, because if we can keep below this cloud, I can keep visual. So I'm going to take a notch of flaps here. Just to keep us sort of slowing. And I'm also going to take the gear. And we should see the airfield very, very shortly. However, I cannot. Use the GPS as... Oh, okay, I see it. Wait, is that it over there? Something is wrong here. Right. Okay, no, I see. Actually, we're absolutely fine. I thought we were screwed then, but it turns out we're actually not. So we're visual with the airfield now. Let's bring another notch of flaps out. Bring the power right down now, just to slow down. I thought we'd screwed that up for a second then. I really did, because I couldn't see the airfield. We're a little bit lower than we should be, but I mean, this was never going to be like a... This was never going to be an approach that was as good as my last one into Aberdeen. Just claw a little bit of altitude back there, bring it down again, and just bring all the flaps out now. Which means obviously we're going to balloon a little bit, which we need to be ready for. Which we are. Four reds, which is not good, but this will be absolutely fine. So we're below the minimas now, so we were visual with the airfield anyway. It's a bit bouncy. Do you want to get down? Start using some air brakes here. See if we can get off here actually. Oh, there you have it. Welcome to Aberdeen. That was possibly one of the most hair-raising approaches I think I've ever had. So landing lights off, taxi lights on, beacons off. Let's bring all the flaps in now. The landing rate, I can tell you, was apparently minus 24. So there you have it. Weather radar can come off now. Do you want to move? There we go. Okay, let's have a look where we can park this up. fast. Well, there you have it. That is my review video and a little test flight at the same time, mixed in with the new Carenado S360 or short 360. I would absolutely recommend this aircraft if you are looking for something. If you're looking at starting out, well, actually no, yeah, yes and no. If you are sort of starting to look out and getting into hardcore flight sim, then I'd say this is probably pretty good for you to start out. I would also say if you are just wanting something new and something a little bit different to fly, then again this is you. And if you just want something that's a little bit of fun, a little bit of a character to fly, a little bit like what the hell, then again this is all absolutely for you. If you're into the hardcore big jets and you like nothing else, then I'm not sure this is a great one for you. As well as if you think how all of Carenado's stuff is bad, then this probably isn't for you either. Anyway, last thing to do is hear the wonderful shutdown noises. And there you go. Really nice. So I hope you have enjoyed my video on this. Apologies for the rather interesting approach aspect of things. That did not go to plan whatsoever. But hopefully you've got a little bit of an insight into the S360, and if it's something that you think you might like, then I would absolutely go and pick this thing up. It's an absolute joy. It's a bundle of fun to fly. However, that is it from me. So until the next video, which will be later on this week, as you know, thank you very much for watching, and bye-bye.